Hey guys, today with the topic of influenceable exes. Or in other words, my ex was persuaded to break up with me, to keep away from me, a friend of hers has always been against me and is to blame for it or. Stories like that. And first of all, this is a story that you should have noticed from the beginning. Surely they are, and all this has already been on your sack again and again on other occasions. You simply have to know at some point where you can support them in their opinion making and where it just doesn't make sense. Especially when you have to fight against the arguments of others, which she lists, but contradicts herself again and again or gives in to you because she wants to avoid a fight. You can expect an adult person to have an opinion. There are always compromises, but if partner A says her mother B, the two facts are mutual extremes and she agrees with both, yes, then the one who puts more pressure on her and who just meets her basic feeling the most and confirms it wins, so to speak. But the people don't have to be that bad. Even people with their own opinion are very easy to influence if something develops in a direction that is very strongly weighted in their perception. So as an example, you regularly annoy your girlfriend with a little something. But she never told you how much it annoys her, only she pays attention to it more and more as the attraction falls. If someone says this out loud at some point, she feels confirmed in her entire assumption and everything she associates with it, and this can then lead to the most insane statements, which is why she breaks up with you. Overarching it was loss of attraction. This little thing that annoyed her or the fact that someone else finds it annoying too is not the overarching point of why broke up. It is one of several symptoms that led to the loss of attraction. This getting confirmation that one's own feeling is right and then valuing and assessing it higher is called confirmation bias. You can Google it when you get a chance. It is exactly the same as when you are told by 9 people that this person you are dating is the absolute dross, nobody can stand her and they are worried about you, and one says, but you are happy, the woman seems to do you good. Who will you listen to? To the one who confirms your feeling. At least if the feeling is strong enough. This is not the fault of the person who stood by you or gave you bad advice, in the eyes of others. It's your perception of the whole thing, which just needed a little push so you could stand by it. And everyone else was discreetly ignored. But this is how it is with impressionable exes. The situations go from accusations that someone else made them break up to statements like, "Your mother has always stood between us and has never liked me." First of all, yes, family is important, but you can't have a good relationship with everyone. As long as you don't harm yourself or others, so what? But as far as relationships go, as long as the ex is not dependent on the person they claim to be influencing, no one will ever be able to beat out or negotiate attraction with words. If they are dependent, say financially or still living at home, yeah, fine, but even then they would stand by you if the attraction was high enough. Then they might meet with you less, but they would use every available chance and not break up with you. People who talk into your feelings and think they understand you better than you understand yourself trigger defiance in us. They are annoying, we want to prove them wrong, or we don't give a shit about their opinion. However, people who nod and confirm our opinion have a completely different status with us, and their opinion also has more weight. This can change from one day to the next, when we start to doubt our own feelings and what we have been thinking for the last few years. The higher the fall, the more helpful are opinions from people who stand by us. Of course, there is a scale on which we find ourselves, and someone with a frame may listen to other people's opinions and evaluate them for their usefulness, but he is never as caught between two stools as a 17-year-old who is forbidden by her father to meet a classmate from the parallel class. Or someone who is faced with an ultimatum and wants to please everyone. Everyone is responsible for their own life and decisions. It won't do any good to explain to a person who hasn't understood that he finally has to get that into his head. The welfare of others may be important, but never as important as your own, and in this case we are probably talking about your ex's decision. There you are no longer the center of her life, and it is for her own good. This was already the case shortly before the separation. Such statements as, "You are so great and I don't deserve you." Bullshit, then she would stay. But someone who is not in the relationship at all and knows her every thought process will never be able to single-handedly rationalize her feelings away from you. He can only confirm and reinforce what is already there and what she is already thinking anyway. And that is due to your former relationship and the attraction you failed to maintain. So stop shifting the responsibility. What do you expect from this? That she admits that it is so and throws the person you are referring to out of her life, or comes back? You are emotional at that moment and cannot really imagine the consequences of your statements. She has to choose a side at that moment, and anyone who makes a fool of her is guaranteed not to suddenly be seen in a more positive light than she already was. This makes her more likely to stand up for the person you are shooting against. Is the same principle as with an rebound or an new partner in general. If you go at him in front of her, she will defend him to the hilt, because you are just bringing in negativity and insinuating things that may be true in a way, but were not the main problem. And even if you hit the nail on the head, it's not her perception of it, she doesn't feel that. You are at a loss and just trying is pushing you further away from her. Don't discuss crap like this and don't tell yourself that someone would be able to single-handedly sabotage attraction. It's usually your reaction to that person that additionally confirms it to the ex. Keep your attraction up during the relationship and focus on you after the breakup. This kind of mindset will get you further. Not falling into anger at others. Take care and see you in the next video.